Hey everyone, Ryan here, or M&R Productions, and today we're taking a look at what I'm hoping will turn out to be a really cool custom LEGO Star Wars set, perhaps one of my favorites, with the Episode 2 Speeder Chase from Republic Bricks. He sent me this for free to review, and if you guys do enjoy these custom LEGO Star Wars set videos, make sure you hit that like button. On his website, this set normally costs $100, but we have a special on for this video and this video only. If you use the promo code BOUNTY, you will save 20% off of the sticker price of this set. So hopefully this one's going to turn out pretty good, because I think for $80 using that promo code, it might be a pretty fair deal. Our comparable here is the LEGO model, and sealed in box is probably cost around $300 nowadays. Not sealed in box, definitely north of $100, so you can see that you can get something similar but for cheaper. Obviously the designs are going to differ, but ultimately it'll come down to personal preference as to which design you like better, and I'm not really sure which one I like better, honestly, so let's go ahead and open this up. So this set does have 395 pieces, which makes it, in the world of custom sets, pretty good on that price per piece. We do have a QR code, which is going to contain our instructions in the yellow bag there. I'll flip that upside down so you can't see it. It looks like everything's color-coded, which is nice and makes the building process a bit easier. Let's take a look at the quality of these parts all put out on the table. So you can judge for yourself. That's why I poured everything out, but everything here looks really good to me, down to the windshields, which are brand new and squeaky clean. Very important on sets like this that the windshields are clean. So yeah, don't see any problems with the quality control on this one. That's one of the trade-offs that people often make buying custom, is that you're going to end up with some used parts, but in this set it doesn't seem to be a big issue. Oh, and of course, unlike the original LEGO one, there are no figures included in this set. That's just another trade-off of buying custom. Usually you're not going to get minifigs, so nothing of the sort in this one. Let's build this up and see how they look. So we have both airspeeders built and finished here. First up, we have Zam Wessel's airspeeder here, which is formerly known as the Coro 2 All-Environment Exodrive airspeeder. Quite a name there. Then we have the Aj6 airspeeder, which Anakin and Obi-Wan steal to chase after Zam Wessel. And just some fun information that I found in the Star Wars wiki, it actually belonged to a senator named Simon Grayshade. So he had a fancy little convertible or open-air speeder here to allow him to ride around on Coruscant. So we'll start out with Zam Wessel's, though. I think there is one flaw on this that I really don't like, and that is that there is no windshield piece. What happens when you make a mock is you just can't get everything perfect in this small scale. If this was a bigger build, something of the likes of like the UCS A-Wing or something, I guess it's not back there, but a much bigger build, I would expect that, but it's just not there, and it's just kind of like, imagine it's filled in. I suppose it's maybe the biggest flaw in the build if I was to say there is one. And while I'm on the topic of the bad, something else not to expect with these is a LEGO-like experience as far as the easiness of the building experience. Like, these aren't made and tested 1,000 times, and they are mocks, so you're also not going to get the strongest build quality. These have some parts on them that will fall apart if you play with it. Don't buy this as a playset. It's not what it is. It's something that's going to look beautiful on display, and at that, I really wish there had been a couple of stands included for these speeders. You can obviously go and build your own, but I think it would have gone a long way for having something that looks even cooler for your display. Anyway, let's talk a little bit more about Zam Wessel's airspeeder here. I think the colors are generally done pretty nice. I really like these fins at the back. These are rubberized tips here. These are just classic LEGO pieces in my mind now. Pretty crazy. They used to be new back in 2009 when they first came out, I think, in that Assassin's Droid Battle Pack. We have another kind of open air area here that should probably have a bit of a windshield, but I think they do a decent job with getting the color right so that they have something back there. You can actually access the cockpit of this, and you could put a minifigure in there if you wanted, so you can actually open, there's essentially 4 panels here that you can open and have access to the interior. And even though it's not a playset, Timmy and his designers usually go out of their way to add something that's somewhat of a play function, but it's also just to have the accurate bit there with a control panel and a couple levers, and then we actually have a seat where you could, like I said, put a minifigure in, although I don't really have a Zam Wessel handy to throw in there, unfortunately. But I think all in all, the design of this thing is pretty tight, and everything comes together pretty well. There's some nice techniques on the underside to get all the bricks and plates to stay together. And moving over to the Aj6 Airspeeder here, we have something that I really like the complexity of the design on. It's very accurate, I would say. You know, certainly not the easiest thing to get accurate in the scale, but for its scale, I think it does a really good job. We have dual engines here, and it was something that as I was building, I was like, oh, that seems like something LEGO would use like 3 pieces to do, and they have like 20 pieces for each engine. And sure enough, I look at the box of this and there they are, just big engine pieces with a print, and that looks good, fine and dandy. I'm not really particularly picking one over the other here, but it is interesting to see the difference in design technique. Also, kind of these metal bars that go across, I think, are a lot cleaner here versus the Lego version, which uses these plates, just a bit chunkier versus the sleeker design on the custom model here. We have the two headlights at the very front, which pop right above the hood area, I guess. Looks pretty nice. The underside of the engine area doesn't leave much to be desired there. It pretty much covers all your bases, looks like you would expect, and it is a tough build, especially in this area. There are some confusing instructions, I would say, but it gets the job done if you can just think about it for a second. That tends to be, there's usually a part on every, I say this, I feel like in every Republic Picks review, there's going to be a section where you're like, how does that work? And then you got to think about it for 12 seconds, and you're like, oh, okay, I got it. And it's different than Lego. It is definitely different than Lego, not in a particularly good way, but if you like critical thinking and you want to hone in those critical thinking skills, then something like this, I guess, is a good thing. Anyway, there's really nice colors on the side with lime green and yellow kind of clashing. That looks really good. This is a part of the Airspeeder, which I think was particularly tough for them to design. It doesn't look the greatest, but it gets the point across, I would say. We have some like dark orange on the back, and then the taillights, I think, came out pretty nice here. Using the red translucent tiles just works. Same design, very symmetrical design, except for right in the cockpit seating area. This steering column is both the bane of my existence and probably the coolest part of this ship. It kind of juts out into where the figure sits, which is great and accurate. I love it. You also have a control panel down there, which is not as cool as the steering column on the side. Now, you can, in theory, you could push this down and have it at a slightly different angle. The problem is it's not the strongest design. Like I said, it's a custom model. It's something meant to be displayed, not quite played with. So if you go to play with it, expect it to break. But this will pop off a lot very easily. So that was something that actually popped off quite a bit while building the set for me, which was a bit frustrating, but it looks really good in the finished product. They actually got the detail, something that they didn't have in the Lego set. Again, this was 2002. I wouldn't have expected in 2002. You can see the windshield piece just completely flat across the top. The custom one here actually has the slight rise in the windshield that is actually in front of the pilot of the speeder. So I thought that was a cool detail. All right, 2002. Perfect. I was gonna grab Anakin. He's got a cape on him. There's a Obi-Wan we can use. I really just am not ready to open this set. That's why I've only shown the box and not actually shown the builds, because it's still sealed in the box. I just don't want to open it. Anyway, let's see if we can have Obi-Wan sit here. It looks like that stud is perfectly there for him. And can we get his... Oh yeah, you can get him down on it. You can lean him back. Let's see, what is hitting? It looks like his arm might be hitting the side panel, so that's not particularly the greatest thing there. It seems like it's sturdy enough, though. These are not the sturdiest things. I think they've been worked well enough so that they can hold up to like you pushing on them, but they definitely feel a little bit flimsy at times. I mean, that seems like it's working pretty good. I mean, it definitely seems to take a little extra work to get a figure in there, and it looks like you're gonna have enough room to fit another figure in there, and it would certainly be easier without the column there. Yeah, it does look like two figures side by side can fit, and they are connected, so that works. Wow, I'm kind of impressed. It's a very tight build, not a lot of extra space in there, but it works out. And just because I showed the figures in the other set, I feel like I gotta show it in Zam Wessel Speeder. It looks like there would probably be enough room for a helmet. I'm not 100% sure, but it doesn't look like if you had a helmet on there, it would get entirely in the way. So it looks like if you really want to have figures in these particular builds, it's gonna work out just fine for you. And damn, do they look fresh with the figures in there. Especially if I had the right Anakin in there, I think it would look even better with the two yellow guys side by side, and then Zam Wessel on that one. Just unfortunately, they're sitting in a box that I don't want to open. Quick reminder, if you're going to buy these from RepublicBricks.com, you can use code BOUNTY and get 20% off, which brings the price down to $80. And at that, I think these are pretty fantastic as far as custom sets go. I do think there is a fair comparison if you're willing to buy used for the older Lego Star Wars set, and it's really going to come down to preference on the look. I mean, this has a classic Lego Star Wars look, and that's definitely going to be something that a lot of people are drawn to, myself included, but there's also something to be said for the flashiness and just the modern look of these newer speeders, and this is in a design that LEGO can't really do. I mean, there are definitely a lot of techniques in here that LEGO would never use on an actual set due to stability, but for something that you're going to end up putting on your shelf, this could actually work out pretty well for you if you're into this sort of thing. $80 still certainly isn't super cheap, but in the world of custom sets, I think for something like this, it's pretty fair. Everything in this seemed to be in good condition, and I think if you add some minifigs to it, it would look excellent. Let me know what you guys think about these in the comments section below. Leave a like if you guys enjoyed the review, and subscribe if you're new to the channel so you don't miss more future LEGO Star Wars and custom LEGO Star Wars set reviews. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Peace out.